Hello, I'm here in Liverpool city centre on this very cold Saturday afternoon. It really is cold. Some of the screenshots, in fact all of them, are quite shocking, especially those referring to the Royal Hospital here in Liverpool, and that will probably reflect across the city in other hospitals. And like I've said before, I'll say again, once the supply can't meet the demand, then you have the problems that we're now seeing in the Royal Liverpool Hospital. When there's a demand on beds and there's just not enough of them, then we see the chaos unfolding where people are lying in corridors and whatever. It really is shocking. But the supply and demand, which I keep mentioning again and again, if it's now unfolding in hospitals, which it is, it'll be reflecting in schools, doctors, dentists, housing, employment, and just about everything else. The last screenshot represents the third world genie the Liberal meddlers have let out the bottle. That isn't going back in, right? If we don't secure Fortress Britain, they will come in indefinitely until our city, our lovely Liverpool, is taken from us, and eventually our country. It's not Joe Owens being an alarmist or exaggerating. We're now seeing what's happening. Mass immigration is having a terrible impact on the NHS. And also, there's a lot of unhealthy people about these days. It doesn't make them bad people, it just makes them unhealthy people. They're also burdening the NHS. The government should have, well, years ago, should have started preparing for this and started pushing a campaign of health, fitness and various other things needed to keep the country healthy. And it's nothing to do with fast food. It was fast food in the 70s, chippies and sweet shops. You just didn't have the money to buy it, right? That's the difference, right? All the same, I'm not having to go at anyone, right? All the same, mass immigration is still impacting on the NHS big time, right? And like I've said, when the supply can't keep up with demand, when there's not enough beds, well, problems. And the same will reflect right across other services, as I say, like schools, dentists, doctors and whatever. So we can now see what is happening to our country. It's coming to a grinding halt. The cost of living crisis and this terrible cold weather that's creeping in, it's going to have a massive impact on people, especially the elderly, especially those sleeping rough in doorways and in and around the city centre. I don't know why they don't just go and present themselves to the nearest hotel and claim refugee status and get themselves a room for the night. Maybe they should do that. Also, the massive cost of £7 million a day for refugees, migrants holed up in hotels. Again, this is money that we should be investing in other in services like the NHS and many others, instead of pouring more sand into the machine and more money down the drain. Because this is what we're doing, this is what's happening. You'll have to excuse me, very busy today. So that is what is happening, right? There is too many people now entering the country. Services can't cope, right? And we're now seeing the consequences of that, which is the Royal Hospital. Nurses at breaking point. That one, it was a screenshot off the internet, not quite sure what news agency, saying that it's about to collapse. I mean, Christ, you know. In the meantime, as I've said, we're spending £7 million a day on migrants, refugees in hotels. Who is running the show here? And like I've said before, what these politicians are doing, they're kicking the football that far ahead. By the time they catch up with it, they're out of office and someone else is in goal, and they pass the problems on, so on and so on. And that's what is happening, right? Anyway, it's a really busy day today, so I'm going to cut this short, but the only way to change this is by voting these people out. Yes, it's a mammoth undertaking, but we've got to start somewhere. I will start the ball rolling next year in the once proud working class community of Kensington and Fairfield. I'll be standing there in the council elections. I'll be speaking up for the people of that forgotten community that have been trampled on and walked all over. So people will have an option there, as opposed to voting for Tweedledee and Tweedledum, Labour and Conservative. Okay, I'll get back to doing a bit of shopping and maybe go and have a cup of coffee. Okay, thank you.